we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, baby. Yeah. Oh, man, we're narrowing it. We're narrowing it. What do we got? The final 4. Grab a partner. Everyone partnered up. All right, we're down to the final 6. 1, 2, 3. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Are we down to the final 4? Okay, come here. Maze, come over here. What's your first name? Who do you like? Maze or Brady? Maze. Who likes Maze? How about Brady? Let's give it up for Brady. What's your first name? Who wants Alex? Who's got Alex? Who's got Carol? All right, back to back. 1, 2, 3. Oh, baby. Got it? Oh, we're down to the championship round. All right, now this is style points matter. It's 2 out of 3. Best 2 out of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3.
He likes the eagle.
There we go. There we go. Champion. Hey guys, again, thanks for coming out this morning. We're excited to have a special guest. Actually, guys, it was 26 years ago, this January, was the first FCA huddle at Calvert Hall. So you guys were part of history. Thursday mornings for now, beginning our 26th year. Hey, Drew, can you get the music? That'd be great. And you know what? You guys got choices to make. You don't need to be here at 7:30 in the morning, but I'm glad you are, and you'll be glad you are as well. I had the good privilege of meeting Coach Cameron, I think it was 5 years that he came to town, 5 years ago. I don't remember the circumstances, but I do know this. For some reason, his son was playing football at Lutherville, and I was playing football. My sons were playing football at Lutherville, and I was coaching. And the team I coached always played right before his son's game. And in Little League football, you got to get there early to get weighed in. So you always get there early enough to catch the second half of the team before this game. Even if you want to see them, that's the way it works. So week after week after week, I look over, and there's Cam Cameron kind of on the sideline watching our team play. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm kind of nervous. There's Coach Cameron. But always gracious, humble, and a great man of God. I know he's going to tell his story, but he was uniquely gifted to play both football and basketball in Indiana. So he played basketball for Bobby Knight. He can probably just speak for half an hour on that alone. But also played college football. I know he battled some injuries during his senior year that led to a direction God had for his life. I know he ended up coaching under Bo Schembechler in Michigan, and he'll maybe share a little bit about that. But how God takes you from where you start to where he wants to lead you is always interesting, and I know I'm excited to learn and hear more about Coach Cameron's story. You know, a lot of coaches, if they get fired, they may go into hiding for a period of time. But I know this, the day Coach Cameron got fired by the Ravens, by his best friend, by the way, John Harbaugh, and who might share a little, that day at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, he was at Loyola watching his son play basketball. And that night he was at the Loyola football banquet because his son plays football there, watching his son. He wasn't ashamed or embarrassed because he didn't need to be. God gave him peace, and I know we're going to hear more of that story. So let's give it up for Coach Cameron.
Morning, fellas. Morning. How we doing? And just to reiterate what Frank said, appreciate you guys rolling out of bed. I've got 3 boys at home myself, and you guys are up and rolling. And I got my guys out of bed, but I don't know if they were up as early as you guys were. So one thing I want to do first, how many of you guys obviously are football fans? How many of you play football? All right, how many of you play lacrosse? All right, ton of lacrosse players. Obviously, that's something we've learned coming to Maryland since 5 years ago. So I'm going to draw something up here, and we're going to go over this at the end. Okay, Frank. Basically, just so the time doesn't get away from here. These guys need to be out that door at what time?
8:15.
8:15. Okay, so let me kind of give you an idea what I like to do. I like to just share a little with you back to when I was a teenager and kind of take you through some things that have transpired in my life, how I grew up, and how I got to know Christ in my life. All right, and then I'd like to take maybe 5 questions. All right, if there's more than that, that's fine too. And I got something I'd like to save maybe the last 5, 6, 7. Come on in, guys. Come on in 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, kind of a little exercise thing. We're going to slide this desk out of the way, and then I've got something. I'm going to try to get 11 guys up here, and then the guys that participate, I brought something for you. So I'm going to draw something up here real quick. Get one of these that, which one of these can you guys see better? You guys see the black, or you can see that green pretty good, can't you? Everybody see that green pretty good? Okay, I'm going to just draw one thing for you. And this will make some sense to you here at the end. You guys see that? You guys see that all right? Okay. So maybe some of you guys that watch NFL Network, this may make, some sense to you. All right, so I'm just going to let you wrestle with that a little bit, way back in the back of your mind somewhere, before I give you a little bit of my testimony. Because you can see that's probably the signature play in one of the great systems of all time in the National Football League. It's called twins right, scat right, 525 at post swing. All right, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But just to put your mind around a little bit what you guys as NFL fans are watching, the Ravens offense or the Patriots offense or somebody give me another one. Favorite offense of yours? Broncos offense. All right. I can drop. I can go over here. Better be careful on that one. This way. Is that thing recording? Did you catch that? Whoever said that? I basically draw a line there. I could give you the signature play of the Broncos in a little different formation. But what we're going to do at the end, we're going to kind of talk about that. But most quarterbacks in the National Football League master somewhere between 200 and 400 of those kind of plays. And that doesn't even include the running game. So you guys, so just kind of throw that in the back of your mind. Okay, now let's back up a little bit. I was telling Bones that I was born in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and my dream was always to go to Carolina. Matter of fact, that sweater you're wearing, what's your name?
Cameron.
Pardon me?
Cameron.
Straight up. What are the chances of that? How you doing? What are the chances of that? All right. Tell me they don't call you Cam. Sometime. By the way, just so you guys know, my name is not Cameron. All right. Some people think those parents weren't real creative, when they named the guy twice. My real name is Malcolm. All right, with 2 L's, M-A-L-C-O-L-M, Graham Cameron III. And my dream to go to Carolina and being the third junior, my father went to Carolina and graduated, and Malcolm Cameron Sr. was the first Cameron to graduate from Carolina. So that was my dream. And then I moved to Durham, North Carolina. All right. Fast forward, I'm in 3rd grade, and one day my dad walks in. And says he needs to talk to my sister. And I got one sister who's 3 years older than me, and says your mother and I are gonna separate, and we're gonna get a divorce. And how many in here come from a family where there's a separation or divorce? All right, so a few of us. All right, and how many of you have a relative, someone you know, a friend, or someone who comes from a divorced family? Raise your hand. All right, it's all of us. All right, to some degree. All right, why that happens? All right, who necessarily knows? But all of a sudden, my dad is going to get up and he's out of there. All right. And we basically packed up our stuff as a family and moved to the other side of town. And I was raised by my mom. One of the hardest, if any work ethic I have today comes from my mom. My mom was one of the all-time workers. She has a junior college degree, worked her whole life. and really instilled in me just a tremendous work ethic. And so I really I give my mom a lot of credit for that. But then, so 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, a series of years go by. Basically, there were years where I never even thought of going to church. All right? Did not know when I was young, did not really know what a Bible was. All right? Had no concept of how God created this earth, how He'd sent His Son, Jesus, for our sin. I didn't understand any of that. All right? So my mom all of a sudden starts dating a guy. All right? And those of you that come from a separation in your family, if your mom goes on to date, all right, that's a little interesting. All right, for a young man to see their mom start dating somebody. But it just so happens that my mom starts dating the running back coach at the Naval Academy, an assistant football coach. And one thing I can remember to this day when I was a young teenager was when he brought me to Maryland. That was my first time. Basically, I went out of the state of North Carolina as a young teenager, was to come to Maryland, to Annapolis. And had a chance to spend the day over there at the Naval Academy with him. And then the long and short of that, we moved to Indiana. We moved to Indiana, and now I'm worried it bones my dream now to go into North Carolina, starts to change a little bit. But one day, a group of men, similar to Frank, guys that are just involved in the FCA, care about young people, want to see people do well, they knock on the door. My mom answers the door. We'd only been in town for a couple of weeks, and says, "We hear you have a son and you're new to the community." And this was in Terre Haute, Indiana. How many of you have ever heard of Terre Haute, Indiana? Nobody's heard of Terre Haute, Indiana? Everybody heard of Indiana State University? There you go. Everybody's heard of Larry Bird. Maybe you guys don't know who Larry Bird is. How about that? They don't know who Larry Bird is now. They knock on the door and they say, "We'd like to sponsor your son to an FCA camp in Marshall, Indiana." I can tell you, I was jacked out of my mind because I was a sports-minded kid. I loved football. I loved basketball. I played baseball. But basketball was my passion. I wanted to go to Carolina to play basketball for Dean Smith. And I get to go to a camp. Not only do I get to go to a camp, I get to go to camp for free. And it's something called FCA. And I really wasn't real concerned what FCA was at that time. So one of these gentlemen take me up and drop me off this camp. I had zero idea what FCA stood for. And then I find out Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Well, think about my background a little bit at that point in time. I really didn't know what it meant to be a Christian. I had no clue what it meant. And so as this week goes by, I'm having a ball, I'm playing ball, I'm having a little success on the field, but I'm noticing, how many of you guys have been to an FCA camp? All right, so a few of you have been there, all right? It's unbelievable experience. The songs are world class. I mean, you can't help but the camp songs. I mean, I don't know if some of you guys go to camps. They have those camp songs at a camp. All of a sudden, I'm over there mumbling these songs thinking, these cats have lost their mind. We got guys singing. And where I came from, I lived in a little apartment complex, probably very similar. You guys know what an apartment complex looks like. I drive by several in the areas around town, and I look at one of those apartments, and that's basically where I grew up. And when you're growing up in an apartment, just playing ball every day, going out on the street, battling your butt off every day, fighting your way home, fighting your way back, you ain't real thrilled about singing camp songs. All right? So the long and the short of it, all of a sudden, we start having huddle sessions. All right? And how many of you guys have had a huddle session here, right? This is a form of a huddle session, correct? All right? And what do we talk about? What do you talk about in a huddle session?
Your faith.
Your faith. What else?
Jesus.
Jesus. What else?
Faith in Jesus.
Yep, that. Anything else you could add? Personal experiences. All these things from sitting around with this group of like 8 guys with this little bunk. And then we'd have these huddle sessions, and guys are talking about stuff that I never dreamed that I would sit down as a kid and talk about. So the long and just to move it along a little bit quickly, there was a guy named Johnny Evans was my huddle counselor, and actually Frank is he's still involved with FCA, and Frank is going to be meeting with him maybe here shortly. Here's a guy that saw me and nurtured me throughout the course of that week. And then by the end of the week, I understood why, my initial understanding was that God created this earth and He sent His Son, Jesus Christ, as our Savior, all right, to save us. And I started to get a little grasp for that, and then He asked me, do I want to ask Christ into my life? And I thought about it, and I really didn't give Him an answer. And then the next day I went to Johnny. I said, I just, for some reason, I feel like I'd like to ask Jesus Christ into my life. And basically we sat down, went off by ourselves, prayed together, and I accepted Christ into my life. And I was a teenager at that time. So I was roughly your age. I would imagine most, except maybe some guys in the back, most everybody in here is a teenager. Yes or yes? All right, so pretty close. So, and now I'm 52. All right, turned 52 actually February 6th, coming up. All right, I'll be married. This will be my 27th year of marriage. I've got 4 kids, and I can unequivocally say to every one of you young men that that decision I made as a teenager has been the most critical decision that I've made in my entire life. It wasn't that gun right flip, Mustang right, 383 F-Rub sneak that Joe Flacco went back and threw to Torrey Smith 2 years ago in Pittsburgh. You guys all remember that play? All right, I can give you monumental plays that maybe got us into the help get us into the playoffs, or beat Pittsburgh, or beat Cincinnati, or all things that we all enjoy. Yes or yes? Yes. That's big time stuff. That's great stuff, but it's nothing close to that commitment I made as a teenager. I would tell you this: my mom ultimately marries a man named Tom Harp, who was the head coach at Indiana State at that time. So now I'm growing up as an early teenager. I not only have accepted Christ in my life, but now I'm being raised by a football coach. And I would tell you this: when you've been able to do whatever you want to do, when you don't have dad around and mom's working from 7 in the morning till 6 at night, what do you think you do as a young man, a young teenager? Or even before you're a teenager, what do you think you do all day? Take a guess. Whatever you want to do. That's what you do. All right? Mom leaves, you find a way to get to the bus stop or walk to school. You go to school, you come home, you go around and you do whatever you want to do all day long. Well, go imagine that. All right, imagine what you can get into as a young kid from 3rd grade till about 8th grade. All right? And now I've accepted Christ into my life, and now I got a father who's a football coach. And I truly believe that God put Tom Harp into my life, because other than my faith, obviously my family means everything to me. It starts with my stepfather, Tom Harp, and obviously my mom. So the reason I share that with you is because we all have a different story. True? All right? So every guy's story in here is different. All right? It doesn't matter if you come from a divorced family. It doesn't matter if your parents, if you had your parents have been married from start to finish. None of that matters. All right? The bottom line is, all right, we have an opportunity with our faith for someone to come into our heart and into our lives that can change our lives. All right? I would share a couple of other thoughts with you. How many of you do you guys all have a pen and a piece of paper? Could you grab one real quick? Everybody do that real quick. And while you're doing that, just kind of give me one of your 2 ears, and I want to share one other thing with you. As I went through college, as I went through high school, playing football and basketball, going to Indiana, I meet a young lady named Melissa Bridges. All right, so for you, how many redheads we got in here? I see one. All right, that was me. How old are you? What grade are you in? 15. And your name is? Will. Nice to see you, Will. That was my hair a long time ago, so I don't want to scare you. All right, but my hair about 15 years old was as red as that and as thick as that. And then I was smart enough to marry a redhead. All right, so for you genetic engineer type guys, all right, when a redhead marries a redhead, all them kids have red hair. Or they better have red hair. All right? So I married a redhead, and what was interesting is she was Catholic. All right? And I was always intrigued because her family went to Mass every Sunday or every Saturday afternoon. So as we started dating, I started going to Mass every day. And now I converted into the Catholic Church 18 years ago. So you're looking at a Christian man, all right, whose life was changed by the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, all right, who now is a member of the Catholic Church. And a lot of times we as Christians or Catholics, sometimes people focus on the differences. Well, my view, all right, there are maybe a few differences. There's some sacraments in the Catholic. How many Catholics would we have in here? We got a few? All right, we've got a few Catholics in here, all right? So we've got some traditions, right? Yes? Yes. All right? We've got some things, the Eucharist, we've got some things that we believe. But the one thing that I've really found almost critical as we look at Christians and Catholics, look at all the things we have in common. All right, I think that's the starting point. Look at all the things we have in common, and then obviously there are, I wouldn't say there are differences, all right, but there are some things that the Catholic Church recognizes. All right, so that would be my view on that. So you're looking at they used to call me, they called me when I was at the San Diego Chargers, an evangelical Catholic. All right, what that necessarily means, I don't know. You guys fire that up on your phone. Somebody probably give me an answer here pretty quick. But let me, if you could, write down a Bible verse, if you can. All right, no sweat if you can't. All right, but just think about it, and you can, don't sweat it if you can't. Because here's what I would tell you: when I was a teenager, I couldn't do it. I could not write down, and that was after I went to that FCA camp. Then I went back the second year, went back the third year, I went back as a junior, went back as a senior, went to Indiana University, and came back and was a counselor. But I never, for some reason, really grasped onto one verse. And for whatever reason, it just sitting down and reading the Bible extensively just didn't click with me. All right, I prayed a lot. I knew God was in my heart. All right, but I'm gonna give you one to think about. All right, Proverbs. All right, if you don't have one, this may be a start for you. Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. All right, if you could, just jot that one down. All right, Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. And here's the only reason I give that to you. I cannot tell you the number of times that in a situation where I wasn't sure what to do, or there was something, and that is to this day. That's from age about 13, all right? There was a period of time up to in my early 20s where I didn't have a verse, but now in my mid-20s, all right, almost 30 years, for me it's trust in God with all your heart. Do not rely on your own understanding. Seek God first, and He will guide your path. Now, I would tell you this. All right, that's Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. All right, I just said, you know what? I'm gonna memorize that. All right, I'm not saying you need to memorize Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, but I would just tell you, for me, if you go on any call sheet I have, you know, you guys see me do this a few times, right? On TV or at games, I got this thing in front of my face so the other team can't read my lips. All right, they've got people scoping anything I say, how many words I say, how many seconds I talk. They're trying to predict whether it's a run or a pass. All right, if you'll look at the top of that sheet, what do you think you're going to see? Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Because I think it's important that we as Christians or Catholics or whatever, you've got something, when all of a sudden things in your life go a little crazy. All right? How many of you guys heard Bernard Pollard talk when he spoke here at the breakfast? All right, so a bunch of you. So I don't need to go where Bernard went. All right, Bernard has taken you there. All right, some of those situations he talked about, think back to those, right? The decisions you got to make as a teenager, as it relates to girls or academics or drugs. Not drugs and alcohol, drugs, because alcohol is a drug. All right? All right, any of those things that are addictive, could be internet, could be gambling, could be all these things. Come up with something. All right, because we're all human. We are going to get steered that way. There's no way around it. For any of us to walk out this door and say, I'm good, that things aren't going to affect me, it's crazy. All right, so when all those temptations, those things that God doesn't want us to do, all right, all I do is I think Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. To this day, I will be saying that verse throughout the course of this day. All right, I've got to make a decision. I sit down and I pray. you know, trust in God with all my heart. All right? Don't rely on my own understanding. Can you imagine what that means? Sometimes we just don't what? We don't understand what God's plan is. Does that make sense? All right? Why did my parents get divorced? I don't know. All right? But I trust. All right? Why did my father die of alcoholism? I don't know. But I trust. My grandfather, both of them, by the way, died of alcoholism. All right? Why? I don't know, but I trust there was a purpose. And I can tell you what the purpose is, because you're talking about a guy who drinks an occasional glass of wine. For some reason, God has put into me that alcohol doesn't need to be a part of my life. All right? Yes, I do drink occasional glass of wine. All right? And they even actually say there's some good health reasons for that. As you get older, you start to buy into that stuff. All right? So, but don't rely on your own understanding. All right? Seek God first, and then the last part of that, He will do what? Anybody catch the end of that? Anybody remember? He will guide. He will guide you. He will guide your path. I can tell you that every decision I make, I mean, I'm in constant prayer the whole day. And I'm not walking around, you know, stumbling over stuff in front of me because I'm praying. But you can pray with your eyes wide open. All right? I think it is that powerful, because there's so many things coming at you guys today. All right? A lot more that came at us. Right, guys? The older guys in the back. You guys got a lot of stuff coming at you. So I just want to encourage you, all right, to come up with something that works for you. And I would tell you this. I unequivocally believe every word that is in this Bible. Did I understand that when I was your age? No, but I do today. So I want to encourage you, if you can, all right, learn as much as you can. If it's just not clicking with you 100%, don't beat yourself up on that. Does that make sense? All right? But if you could come up with one verse in here, I really think Proverbs would be a good place to go. There's a chapter of Proverbs. It's the book basically of wisdom. All right, there's a lot of great stuff in there that can help teenagers. Maybe some of you guys, maybe there's a couple, 12, 11. Who's the youngest guy back there? Where's Danny? How old's Danny? All right. How old? 7. 8. That's all right. You know, it grow. Did you? Great. All right. So we're all learning. We're all growing. All right. We're all trying to get better. All right. And then what we've got to do is now, Cam, so you and I, come on up here for a second. All right. Now, here we are. We're hanging out. All right. Wherever that might be. Wherever Calvert Hall hangs out. All right. We're here, we're there. And all of a sudden, I'm getting ready to do something stupid. And you know it's stupid. All right? The bottom line is we all need each other. All right? We can't battle this world by ourselves. We need God in our lives. We know what Jesus Christ can enter our heart. All right? Because we know God sent Him to forgive us of our sins. But the problem is we need some help to keep us from sinning. Because we're going to sin. It's in us. All right? Sin is in all of us. All right? Why we do things we don't want to do, we don't understand as human beings. All right? How many guys have done something in here they didn't want to do? Boom. Every one of us. You think that's going to change miraculously? No. Through your whole life, you're going to go, God, that's the dumbest thing I ever did. All right? If I just had my homeboy, Cam, with me, all right, or whatever, what's the term here at Calvert Hall? You got what do you guys call your guy? You got a name for that? Well, let's come up with one, daggone it. But now you got to say, hey, come on, man. Come on, dog. We're going. We got to go. Leave that girl alone. All right? She's not good for you. All right? Okay? You're a lot better looking than me, so I'm getting you away from her. All right? But then, all of a sudden, some guy, you know, in the National Football League or even, and I coach in college for whatever, I've never smoked marijuana. All right? They say that stuff is unbelievable. It would have to be. All these cats smoking it? Right? Ain't smoking it because they're not making a real good decision. All right? But there must be something to that stuff. But we all know ultimately what's that going to do to us. Does that honor God by us smoking marijuana or doing something? Does it? Heck no. All right? Don't think that I couldn't be that guy. So now I'm getting ready. This guy's trying to talk me into smoking some marijuana. Now what are you going to do? Yeah, say, come on, dog. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's find something else to do. Thanks, Cam. All right? So I guess the point, I know we're running out of time here, is I just share with you, only you can make the choice if you want to ask Jesus Christ into your life. And you don't have to be 52 to do it. You don't have to have somebody bop you over the head with a sledgehammer for you to realize, holy smoke, I need Jesus Christ in my life, all right? But you have the opportunity, and only you, no one can invite him into your heart for you, all right? All right, so think about that. Maybe a lot of you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know that we need to talk about that here this morning. But then, that's just the starting point. That's just the starting point. Then what do we got to do? We got to help what? Got to help each other out. Help yourself, but then we got to help each other out. We got to help hold, you know, we're going to do stupid stuff. All right? That's just the way it is. All right? Or we're going to think about doing stupid stuff. And we need each other to help us out when that happens. All right? Does that make sense? Guy gave me some of the greatest advice when I was 24 years old as a coach. All right, this is for anybody interested in being a coach someday, at any lacrosse coach, football coach, teacher, anything like that. Nobody wants to coach because it's a phenomenal profession. We got some coaches in the back. All right? But this applies to whether you want to be in the business, whatever you might want to be a teacher, whatever you want to do. And he said this. The guy said to me, Cam, the best advice I can give you, a guy named Alex Agassi gave me this. He said, never sell your soul for winning. All right? To get an A on a test, you know, basically don't cheat. All right? Don't lie. All right? Don't steal. All right? You guys, some of you are familiar with the commandments. All right? It all goes back. The expectation for us. And I've been so glad because this world makes it very tempting. Everybody give me your eyes real quick. This world is going to tell you. This world is going to tell you if you cheat and you take a shortcut, you're going to achieve success. You can take a shortcut. You can cheat on a test. You can go around. You can do performance-enhancing drugs. You can do a whole series of things, and this world is going to lift you up. And the minute you fail, what's this world going to do to you? They're going to act like they never knew you. All right? And the one thing that if you never sell your soul for winning, you can always trust God and trust what He teaches in your life. Does that make any sense to you guys? A little bit? All right? Okay. I know we are almost out of time. Last thing. All right? If you want to write something else down. Again, recommendation, just a thought, something to consider, is come up with a verse. All right? But the second thing I would say to every young man in here and coach and parent, we are all called by God to be the best version of ourselves. The best version of ourselves. Your name again?
Me? Will.
Will. Will, you're not Cam. Cam, you're not Will. Cam, you're not Bones. Bones, you're not your dad. You're not me. All right, you're not your uncle. God calls you to be the best version of you. And that's my last challenge to you guys. Whenever you walk out that door, if you come up with a scripture or don't, all right, I can live with that one because when I was your age, I didn't do it. All right, so I get it. All right, that may not be your thing right now. But I think the one thing that can be something for all of us, make sure every day, start finding out what God's plan is for you. And then go be great at it. Go be the best you can be at what you think God wants you to do and wants you to be. And what if that doesn't work out? All right? Don't rely on your own understanding. Keep talking. Keep praying. God will steer you in a path. He will guide your path to greatness. All right? I wanted to be a guy named George Karl. All right? And Roger Staubach. All right? George Karl is the head coach of the Denver Nuggets. All right? Great player at Carolina. Roger Staubach was a quarterback, played in the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys forever, played at the Naval Academy. I wanted to be those two guys. God ended my football career and made me a coach in a second. Was playing at Illinois. Planted, boom, RG3'd it. I ACL'd it, boom, it was my 5th year. All right, my basketball season ended that year at Indiana. But the good news is God made it very clear to me, and I went into coaching like that. And I've never looked back, all right? 30 years of coaching. He made it clear, all right? But I had a dream. My dream was to be Roger Staubach and play in the National Football League. And look what happened. I never had a dream to coach in the NFL. And look what God did. Put me in the National Football League, all right, for 15 years. And so he has a plan. Trust that plan. Trust in God with all your heart. Do not rely on your own understanding, and seek God first, and he'll guide your path. Okay? I'm going to take 3 minutes. The school going to be all over me if we okay?
Yeah, I'd like to take more time.
Can we got 3? I need a Joe Flacco. Who wants to be Joe Flacco? Come, let's go. Come on. All right. Who wants to be Matt Burke? All right, the center. Who's our center? Let's go quickly. Let's go, Burke. All right, Marshall Yonda. Who wants to be Marshall Yonda? All right, let's line up QB. I need Flacco right here. All right, I need Burke here. I need Yonda. All right, I need KO. All right, Kalichi Osemele, right tackle. I need a right tackle. Hurry. And everybody, okay. All right, now I need Ja Reed, left guard. All right, I need Michael Orr, left tackle. Give me a Michael Orr. Bones, you left tackle. Cam, all right. All right, give me Torrey Smith. Give me a Torrey Smith. All right, give me a Ray Rice. Give me a Ray Rice. Give me a Vontae Leach. All right, and give me an Anquan Bolden. Give me an Anquan Bolden. All right, we got 11? Somebody count that. Is that 11?
Yeah, it's 11.
All right, 11. Okay, we're going to go twins right. Where's Torrey? Where's Torrey? You're split out to the right. Torrey's over there. All right, who's Anquan? You're Anquan? All right, you're left. All right, where's Joe Flacco? All right, you're behind Burke. Who's Burke? All right, there's Burke. All right. All right, where? We missed Dennis Pitta, didn't we? Yeah. Who's Dennis Pitta? I need Dennis Pitta. Give me a Dennis Pitta. All right, good. I need Dennis Pitta at the right tight end. Who's Vontae Leach? All right, come on down. And your name? What is it? Joseph. All right, you look just like him. All right. You're okay. You're out here in twins. This is called twins right. All right, and you're Pitta, right?
Yep.
All right, KO, Kalichi. All right, you got Yonda. Yonda made the Pro Bowl. Where's Michael Orr?
I'm right here.
Are you Orr? Okay, where is Ray Rice?
Right here.
All right, Ray Rice, you're right behind the desk. All right, you're good. All right, we got 12 now?
Yeah.
That's okay. No, you know what? We can play with 12 in Canada. All right, so you're right here. All right, so you're right here in the middle. All right, we're going to play in Canada this game. So you're, okay, now, we're going, okay. Now, remember where you are. All right, I'm going to tell you what to do. You 5 guys up front, you got the easy job. Just step up, throw your hands up like this. All right, you're going to go right down the seam, right down that. You're going to run down right by that board. You're going to run a 5 route. All right? Where's Pitt at? You're going to cross, just right across in here. You've got the post route. You're the guy we're trying to get the ball to. You're going to go right down that seam and look for the ball. Did anybody bring a football? No football? Dang it. All right, and you're going to run down about that the corner of that window and run a 5 route. All right? Say it again? Sweet. Good idea, my man. That's my man. That's what I'm talking about. Rugby ball? Classic. All right? All right, now, this is called twins right, scat right, 525 F post swing. You're going to check, look for blitzes from both sides, and you're going to swing. All right, we're going 5 steps in the pocket, and we're going to look right to the post route. Then we're going to look to Pitta. Then we're going to look to the comeback to Cam, and then we're going to hit Ray Rice on a swing. All right, now, so it's called twins right, scat right, 525 F post swing. But we're going to line up in a formation, so I need everybody right here in a huddle. Everybody here real quick. All right, some of you guys come in the back. All right, let's get some of you guys over here. All right, some of you guys from over there. Cam, you're over here. All right, so now we're going to call scatter twins right. Scatter twins right, scat right, 525 F post swing. All right, you got that? So, and ready, break. When I say break, everybody get to that formation. Then I want you to go set hut and do what I asked you to do. All right? Okay, you want to call that play for me? Scatter twins right, scat right, 525 F post swing. Got it?
Scatter twins right, scatter F25 post swing.
You got it. All right, here we go. Huddle up, guys. All right, and when he says break, everybody get to that formation. Call it.
Scatter 25.
Scatter twins right.
Scatter twins right.
Scat right.
Scat right.
525.
525.
F post.
F post.
Swing.
Swing.
Ready? Break. All right, here we go, guys. Go quickly, quickly. 10, 9, 8, 7. All right, give me a set hut. Say set hut. Set hut. Good. Look at that post route right there. Nothing. Throw that swing over there. Are you a rugby player? That was impressive, though. All right. Good job, guys. All right, now, all you guys that were here, all right, the sizes, the big guys, the sweats are about my size. Cam, I'm going to give you this one because I think it's got my name on it. All right? Okay? You get, all right? There should be one for everybody that just did that. If we're short one, all right? That's a warm-up. Good. Everybody make sure you got something. Got it?
All right, beautiful.
We
Hey
good?
guys, let's give it up for Coach
Hey,
Sam.
thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. See in our lives. May we trust you. In Jesus' name, amen. Have a great day. Hey, if there's any trouble, say, Coach Frank kept me at F.